Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television GPTV. I'm Brett. We've got a really cool unboxing. This is for a set of figures from the new Batman Adventures DC Collectible line. Known as Girls' Night Out, this celebrates the 7th episode of the 2nd season of the new Batman Adventures, which aired in October of 1998. So basically the story is Livewire goes into, escapes to Gotham, teams up with Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn, and with Batman and Superman not around, Batgirl and Supergirl have to step in to defeat the villainesses. Really kind of a classic episode, and DC Collectibles is celebrating that with this cool collection that takes all the major characters of that story and puts them together in one box. So we're going to open up the box, we're going to show off the figures, and give our general thoughts. Now, I love this box. The second I saw it released, or that it was advertised that it was going to be released, I knew I had to have it and absolutely wanted a copy, especially to show it off, because it's such a cool way to show off the kick-ass characters, the kick-ass female characters of such a classic animated series. Now, these are sculpted by Irene Matter. And altogether is 20 pieces in the box. So let me slide this out. Do my best to not destroy the box. And we'll go and look at each of the figures and discuss a little bit of their how their articulation goes and stuff like that. So now you can see behind all the figures, we've got the bases for them with the cool designs. Pretty classic, and we see regularly with these DC Collectibles releases. So that's pretty standard and works really well because they're great bases to show off your collection. We can also see underneath that they've got kind of the arms that go and hold the characters in there. So I'm going to start off with Harley Quinn and take one character at a time. Alright, so first off, we're looking at Harley Quinn. Now, this is the version of the character that I like the most, the Paul Dini classic Jester-ish version in the red and black. Articulation is absolutely fantastic. The quality of just holding it in my hand, it just feels really, really high quality. Hips move up and down. The legs moves in and out. So there's that. We've got, of course, movement on the knees. And doesn't look like we've got movement on the ankles, though, which isn't a bad thing because it just makes it a little bit easier for the figure to stand on its own. The wrists are full movement, which is just kind of that amazing level of detail in these quality figures. I mean, I wish I had these type of toys when I was growing up. Let's see if she stands or how easily she stands on her own. Do this test with all the figures. And pretty easy. That wasn't that hard to play around with. She's got the pale look on her face. It's not quite white. It's actually more like a glow-in-the-dark coloring, which I think is really kind of interesting, a small detail on that. Other than that, I think the painting for the figure is absolutely fantastic. Of course, we've got the diamonds all throughout the outfit, and they're cleanly painted. They look fantastic. We have kind of her bib neck piece that is slightly sticks out a little bit. And as I said, the articulation is absolutely fantastic. So overall, with the painting of this figure, really, really top-notch. The lines are super crisp. I don't see really any issues at all with it. Just that level of detail is solid. Like, it's one of those that it's just well done in everything, and is a great figure. I mean, there's really nothing else to say. The lines are crisp. The diamonds are crisp. And the articulation's great. This is a great translation of the classic character to figure. Alright, next we've got Poison Ivy, Harley's bestie. And let's get her out. Packaging. Now, the thing that always kind of stood out to me with the new Batman Adventures is the design of the characters were slightly different. I don't know which I prefer personally more if the old Batman animated series versus new Batman Adventures, which is the design that I like. Definitely, I mean, Harley just translates well for each. Poison Ivy, on the other hand, I think I might like the Batman animated series version a little bit more. Alright, so just like Harley Quinn, we've got fantastic articulation in all the exact same points. This one actually stands out, and we get some articulation with the foot and the ankle, so that is a little bit different. The movement with the head is slightly less, but that's mostly because of the hair. The painting style on this, very simple. There's not much to it. You know, we've got the clothing and pretty much her skin and the details around the eyes and the hair. The hair with the sculpting, I think, is actually really cool. I like that detail on it. It feels like the animated character come to life in 3D. You know, where there are some details around the eyes, it's done meticulously, exactly what I would expect from DC Collectibles. And we're going to do the stand test. Don't want her propped up on anything. Generally pretty easy. I mean, I see a little bit of a ding at the top of the head, but that's about it. I mean, hell, I could have done that taking the figure out, so that's not that big a deal. But overall, really, really solid. Great figure. Size-wise, feels like she matches up with Harley really well. So, she fits. It looks great. Don't know what else to say. The other thing that kind of stands out to me that I really like about all these figures as I'm taking out Livewire is that while they all fit together, like style-wise, the bodies aren't just the same damn body over and over and over again. There are subtle differences between each of the figures, which I think is really, really great. And something I know I appreciate a lot when checking out various figures. It's something you also notice with the DC Superhero Girls line is that the figures are slightly different, which is pretty great as well. Alright, I just poked myself on her hair. The sculpting on the hair, absolutely great. Kind of feels like the Livewire character, which I think is really kind of cool. The movement, exactly like we've seen with Poison Ivy. It doesn't have quite the same pivot on the lower leg where Poison Ivy's ankles moved. This one doesn't. Other than that, though, the movement is exactly the same. See, give her the stand test. Well, this one we might have some problems with. Sure, this is possible. There we go. So it took a little bit. This one you kind of have to balance, well. As far as coloring, things look pretty solid. I'm not seeing major issues at all with the character. I love the blue. I think the coloring of the blue hair with the blue gloves look really, really well. It's a nice, subtle difference. It goes well with the costume and the skin color. Of course, it's, based off of the character design on the show. The head pivots really well. And again, the details of the eyes and the lips look great. Standing out, looking at the different figures, which I think stands out to me, is that things like the eyes are different with all of them as well. It's not the same eyebrows on every single character, and even the eyes vary from figure to figure. The design, fairly basic. I mean, we don't have much as far as like 3D modeling onto it. It's not like the hair or maybe Harley's kind of bib. It's just the body itself is painted. That's about it. So it's a pretty basic figure as far as coloring and design. It's not like there's anything really standing out for details of it. But still, it's a very, very nice figure. And captures the animated figure quite well. Alright, next we've got one of our heroes, Supergirl. I love the Supergirl design. I love the animated version of her with this, so super excited to be able to get a figure of her. As far as articulation, movement's pretty solid, just like every other one. Arms, wrists, all that moves pretty well. The legs are a little bit stiff just because of the costume that she has. So you don't get quite the movement with the legs as you do with other figures. With the legs, though, we do get the movement more like Poison Ivy than we do with the other two figures. Let's see, stands, no problem at all. Details in the figure, I think, are really nice. The cape is rubber, and the skirt is rubber. So there's that. It's not a cloth cape at all, and the cape is fused and connected kind of like around her shoulders. Of course, has the midriff that looks really nice, and the Superman symbol is done really well. It is like a 3D sculpt. It's slightly raised, so it's not just a symbol painted onto her chest. There is a slight raise to it. Also notice is there's a slight raise to the boots as well, a really small detail. Hair looks great. The bangs actually hanging over the top of the forehead onto the character's head, which I think is really, really nice. The hair, you can see here, we got some space in between that and the back. It kind of swoops a little bit on the back as well, giving some life to the character. So overall, really, really solid. She's got this smile. I think this smile is very similar to Livewire's, slightly different than Harley Quinn. I think Livewire's and Supergirl has similar smiles. And again, the eyes are different than everyone else, along with the way the eyes are done and the eyebrows. So we get some variation of all the characters, which I think is fantastic and really kind of makes the set stand out. Finally, we've got my favorite character, Batgirl. Batgirl, I think, is... she was a character that I started to really love with the Batman animated series, the whole animated shows that were out there. That's where I really got to know her and thought the character was so cool. And then over the years, I think has become such a fantastic symbol of strength and kick-assness. So when in doubt, if you can't beat Batman, beat Batgirl. The figure itself looks really solid. Now we've had a Batgirl figure before with the Batgirl Burnside figure with the motorcycle that I think looks really, really great. So this one's definitely a different style of that since it's the animated version of her. As far as movement, we get the legs twisting, the ankles twist, and the arms completely move like all the other figures, so that's good. The sculpts are different. I mean, what's great is with all these figures, you would think that maybe it would be the same sculpt over and over and over again. It's not. You can see every single body is slightly different, which is great. Eyes popping. She just looks like her animated version. Of course, we've got the gauntlets sticking out a little bit, which is great. Her belt is actually slightly raised. Again, great. The bat symbol is slightly raised, but not a ton. So it's mostly painted on. I feel like a slight raise to it, but not a lot. So there is that. And as far as the figure, yeah, this little plastic thing in here. There we go. Take that out. Her mini cape, of course, rubber, just like Supergirl's. They went with the rubber version of the cape for this, not cloth. The hair is a little bit different. You don't quite get the movement like you do with Supergirl, so the head is slightly restricted due to that. I'm sure the plastic there is to protect the back of the cape so it's not rubbing against the hair all the time. But overall, very simple figure in that in the coloring, just black, yellow, and then the hair and the eyes are slightly different, and of course the blue with the cape. Sticks to the basic, works really well, absolutely top-notch. I love this set. I mean, if these are figures you don't have and you want to pick them up in kind of one fell swoop, this is the way to go if you ask me. It's you know, you don't get necessarily accessories like you might with other versions of these characters and other offerings of these characters, but to be able to get them all and just be able to play with them straight out of the box, or, you know, put the box on your shelf and admire it from afar is really, really cool. These are all really top-notch. The variation of them is fantastic. Every single figure is unique. Every figure looks great. You know, the body designs are different, the painting is different, the smile is different, all the slight details are different. It's just overall a really amazing set, and I'm so excited that DC Collectibles has released this. I want to thank DC Collectibles for the hookup for the figures. you should go and check them out. In full disclosure, so we did get this for free. You can make up your mind whether or not you trust our opinion due to that, but I want to be fully transparent on that. So thank you, DC Collectibles. We're going to have some links beneath this video where you can buy your own versions of this. There'll be affiliate links, so we do get a small percentage of that, but you help support our site that way. As always, thank you for watching. If you want to get more news about DC Comics or toys, you should check us out every single day at graphicpolicy.com. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. So until next time, thanks for watching, and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.